Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Maybe. Howdy, Jeff.
Eat your food.
I will eat my food, but I'm not going to eat it while I'm talking to people.
It's hot. You have to eat it now.
Guys, I may actually smash food. It's my lovely wife's arm there.
Hello. I slacked a little bit.
Yeah.
Right here?
No, you're right here.
Oh.
Here, take these with you. I'll be up there in a little bit. They're already hot as lava, so I appreciate you. Thank you. No, we're not getting a live feeding. I would, but that's just rude. She went upstairs. She doesn't really like to be on camera, so welcome, everybody. I'll give people a few to get in here. Definitely going to talk about some things, especially new in my world. I'm doing it from my computer. I was going to do it from my phone, but for some reason, YouTube wouldn't let me. It said you had to do it from here, so here we are. I have definitely got to figure out how to use other programs, so. But here we are. It's not a bad picture. I've got it on my TV next to my computer. I just can't get used to the whole right is left and left is right thing. It's just weird. How many of you guys watched my last rant video? Roger the Convicts, I have lost 4 of. Not a fan, but I lost 4 convicts and I lost the 1 natural blue Acara. So for the people that have watched my last video and for the ones that haven't, I'm going to kind of spoil it. I have a 125-gallon African cichlid tank. It is full of Mbunas. Well, it was full of Mbunas. They've been dropping like flies. I have lost probably, say, 25 of them in the last 3 months. I'm not a fan. Everybody's like, test your water quality, blah, blah, blah. Well, I have proof that I've tested it. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. So what we have here is a API master test kit. Still have it. Stupid card that comes with it. The only one that is remotely off. I mean, remotely. And I don't believe that 5 parts per million is enough to kill fish, especially on a 2-week water change interval, is what it was on. You know, I watch a lot of different live streams. I watch a lot of different Facebook videos, part of a few Facebook groups. And some of those people out there are just, they hammer water quality, water quality, water quality. Test your water every day. I mean, these people are testing water more than they really should. Not saying you shouldn't test your water. You absolutely should. But they're fishing things. Hello everybody. I test mine when if I see there's an issue. And in this tank, I have tested it 3 times in the last 2 months, and in every time it has been exactly the same. You know, it could be from the recently dead 2 fish, because I mean, that tank is just, I mean, it's ran flawlessly for the last 2 years. I've had no issues. Maybe it is the losing fish time of year. Who knows, Roger? I don't know. You know, I got kicked out of a group because I said that exact thing about testing the water quality all the time. I mean, people are just stuck on testing daily. You know, I don't know how many of you guys, I don't know if you guys sit there and set your tanks up and cycle the tank, or do you do an in-fish cycle? Me, I have a whole bunch of tanks. You guys have seen some of my videos. You guys know I have roughly, I don't know, I have 40 tanks in the basement. And I have 9 upstairs. Thank you, Skull. I mean, at some point in time, you get good enough to do this, and you know. But throughout all of my tanks, I have sponge filters in every one of them. And I typically will take that sponge filter from an established tank that is healthy. This sounds really weird, but I will take that sponge, put it in that tank, I will squeeze it, and then just drop the sponge in on an airline. It's just what I do. It works. It's never failed me. The only tank that I have lost every fish in, and this is going to be me being real clear and transparent, I bought 11 walrus cichlids. They were that big. They did great for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden they popped up with what I thought was ick. Gone. Every one of them. I lost all 11 of them. Turned out it was velvet. I don't know. Everybody says that treating velvet is the same as treating ick. But in my case, when I did exactly everything to treat for ick, it sped up the process. I lost all 11 within 2 days. Welcome, Jungle Jim. My friend, you have some nice setup going there in your fish room. I like that. He gave me a shout out in his video. I appreciate that, Jungle Jim. You're doing things, man. Keep doing what you're doing. You're going to move into the right direction. You know, I started into the salt world, and I got, I got 6 of the easiest fish they say to start with, which is your, what are they called? Yellow-tailed damsels. I just threw them in there. I said, we're going to see what happens. And you know what? I now have a clownfish in that tank, and the other ones are in another tank down here, cycling that tank. But I think people how do I say this without it sounding bad? I think people try too hard. You know, basically, if you're using, hey, man, them butthead fish will cycle a tank for you. I have 6 of them that are still living harmlessly. I mean, they're doing great together. If you've kept fish at any point in time in your life, you know when something's wrong. You know, I see people all the time with tanks that just look like mud, all green, and they can't understand why their fish are, you know, dying or they're at the top gasping for air. It's because you don't clean your tank. I mean, you don't necessarily have to gravel vac, take everything out, scrub the glass, scrub all the decor, and put it back in there. You do that, you're doing yourself a disservice. I mean, like this idiot right here. I clean her tank all the time. I clean it every week. Every Saturday or every Sunday, her tank gets cleaned. This tank is destroyed already, and I cleaned it last night. I mean, it's dirty as hell. It's an Oscar. I agree. You don't need to try to be all about the chemistry. You know, you can do things the right way, but do them your way. That's why I always say, my catchphrase, it's your hobby, do it your way. I have caught hell for plastic plants. I've had people tell me that Oscar right there, the big Big guy over here. Hold on, me and my that big guy right there. Tell me I was killing him because he was in another tank by himself and he was laying on the bottom all the time. He was sad. He was lonely. It was him and a pleco in a 50-gallon tank when he was that big. And a guy, oh, you should euthanize that fish. I'm not going to euthanize that fish. That fish is happy and healthy. Why would I euthanize it? So as you can see, he's in a 240 with another Oscar and a whole bunch of other fish doing great. I get tired of hearing water parameters, water parameters, water parameters. And then people out there, oh, I've got to get my water to the right, pH and this and that. Some fish it does, but you didn't go out and catch your fish in the Amazon River or Lake Malawi. You don't need to chase those. They were farm raised. Unless they tell you they're, wild caught, you really don't have to. You just need to make sure it's stable. And fish can get used to pH and hardness. I don't get it. I really don't. Like betta fish. Everybody puts them in, these little bowls. I have betta fish. They're 29-gallon tanks. They're doing fantastic, except for Blueberry. Blueberry died. So I no longer have Blueberry. But the rest of them I've got a mustard gas, like jumbo fin mustard gas betta, doing great in the 25 tall. Just fantastic. Oh no, you're going to unsub because I have plastic plants. Darn, I also have real plants. I just can't put them in my African cichlid tank because they will eat every one of them. I've tried it. They've ate everything I've put in there. They ate Java fern, Java moss, and Nubius. They ate everything I put in that tank. I don't care what I put in there, they ate it. My biggest problem, other than buying fish and tanks. I have too many fish, too many tanks. Actually, not enough tanks. Got to build another rack. I want to move all of my 55-gallon on my other side of my fish room. But if you look at my fish and you try to tell me that my fish aren't healthy, you obviously haven't been watching my channel. So, is everybody watching the Super Bowl tonight? Anybody think Taylor Swift's going to win? I'm so tired of hearing about her. Didn't know she was playing. Got some splashing going on over here. 49ers. I agree. I kind of hope they just run away. If the 49ers win, I'll be happy. We might get to see Taylor Swift cry. That would be great. Absolutely. That is the best way to do it, Jeff. You got to do it your way, man. If your way works for you, your fish are happy, your fish are healthy. It is what it is. I was rooting for the Cleveland Browns, Roger, and then they went out in the first round like typical Cleveland fashion. Our motto in Cleveland is always next year. I was then rooting for the Lions. So I think I'll take the Niners over Kansas City. Not a fan. I'm tired of Patrick Mahomes being everywhere too. No one else's opinion does matter. You are correct. Has anybody here ever kept natural blue Acara? Not the electric blue variant, just a natural blue Acara. I don't know if they both can lose, Jeff. They might, but that would be kind of hard. We have to have a winner. Maybe one of these days we'll get a participation trophy too. Who knows? That's just the way we're going. I like the electric blue Acara, but I kind of seen that natural blue Acara and I want some. Like I'm willing to move fish around, rehome fish just to get a tank full of them. I know that sounds terrible. I have a couple of friends that will take fish for me. Actually, my local fish store will take every fish that I have. Man, that would be a perfect ending, Jeff. So, who keeps electric blue Acara? I have a bunch. I have 8, actually 7 in my 125. I just lost one the other morning. And I have about 200 in a 10-gallon grow out tank right now. So I'm going to have electric blue Acara running out of my ears. Officially died 4 years ago. What, when Tom Brady left Jungle Jim? Is that what you're talking about? I'm going to have to look up the zebra Acara. I've definitely got to see what that is. That's going to be awesome. I got to check those out. Hey, man, everybody said that Tom Brady wasn't a good quarterback. Tell me this. How can you go from, yeah, he did cheat, I guess, deflate gate or whatever that was, but how the hell can you go from one team that was winning? You leave there, you go to another team. The first year that you're there, you win a Super Bowl. You have to be a good quarterback. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. Tom Brady is not, Tom Brady is going to be one of the greats, is one of the greats, probably one of the greatest if you want to get technical. Man, them zebra car are pretty. Woo. How hard are those to find? For those watching, that's a zebra car. That's a crappy picture, but that is it. That thing is beautiful. So I'm not a big football fan. Oh, there's some breeders in the States. I have a problem finding tomato haps. I have one lonely tomato hap. He's in a 40-gallon by himself. I don't know if anybody has ever kept them or not. They're I think it's like an S or H35 tomato hap. They're beautiful. I can't find any. I found one. I have one at the local fish store wanted to get rid of and just gave me. Apparently he was a knucklehead and killed everybody in the tank he was in. So now he's by himself, and I'm looking at him like, man, this thing is beautiful. I got to get some more of those. I agree with you, Jungle Jim. I've never seen that fish before. I want some. However, after seeing your bluegill, Jungle Jim, I think I want one. That thing looks like he can smash some food. Everybody, if you can, you should Google the tomato hap. The tomato hap colored up is beautiful. Oh, I know he's a beast. I watched that video of him eating earthworms, dude. He was smashing those things. SP35 regular tomato cichlid. And trust me, that picture does not do him justice. Here's another one. This is kind of what mine looks like when he's colored up. He meets me every morning at the glass. He's in my front living room, and I can see him as soon as I come out of my bathroom. He's right there at the glass. He knows what time I'm going to be there, and he knows it's food time. All right, Roger, have a good evening, sir. Enjoy. Jungle Jim, how long have you had that? I'm not 100% sure, Jeff. I'm really not. I haven't researched it that much other than trying to find a bunch. My guy at the local fish store told me they used to be like cheap. You said you used to be able to pick them up for like $3 or $4 a piece. Now I can't even find one. Everywhere I've looked online, some of the reputable dealers, they're all say they're out of stock. And I mean, it's just rare that I even find one. any of you guys used the Aquarium Co-op sponge filters on a power head? I know a lot of you guys are canister filter guys. I've kind of got there myself, but that's actually a really efficient way to filter a tank. You can take an Aquarium Co-op power head, put it on top of the sponge filter, and I mean, it does an amazing job. Actually got one sitting next to me. It's got my Oscar in it. Maybe. Ooh, my camera just went full out. There we go. Six inches in a year. That thing's going to grow fast. I'm not sure how big those get, Jim. I know I've caught a bunch of them fishing, but I've never kept one. I'd like to keep some different fish one of these years. I kept a catfish one time, like a channel cat. That was pretty fun. Didn't make it very long, but I kept it for a couple of days so we can end up, having it for dinner. But I'll have to look that fish up, Jeff. I'm not sure. We'll see. But everywhere I've looked, those things are definitely out of line. Let's see, bro. It does look like that fish. It's similar, but I think this one's going to probably be a little bigger. That hap doesn't get any more than 5 inches long. It's one of the smaller size haps. It does stay on the smaller side. I don't like the big, large haps. I don't like predator haps. I don't know why. I just don't think they're attractive. However, but I think some of the ones I have on my other tanks over here are they're sapphire cichlid and something else mixed. I don't know what they are. But I'm waiting on them to grow up a little bigger, and I think they may outgrow the 75 they're in. So they may, when I hate to say it, when my Mbonas die, they may move into the 125. You know what, man? I started with African cichlids, Jeff. What kind of fish is that, Jim? I'll have to look that one up, too. I'm going to spend the night looking up fish. Why not? We can chat about whatever. I mean, fish related is definitely a good thing. Oh, man. You're going to need a very, very, very big tank there, Jim. Like a very big tank. Like a small pike. Skull, which Jim are you talking to? Because that's kind of my name too. Talking to me or Jungle Jim? Well, I guess Jim's a popular name. I didn't want to go with my name on my channel name. You know, this is kind of my happy place, so I called it Happy Place Aquatics. Redfin, oh, that'd probably be pretty. You know, my favorite fish in the hobby I got to see close. It actually shouldn't even be in the hobby if you ask me, unless you have like a 70,000 gallon pool or something, you know what I mean? But my favorite fish in the animal kingdom is the Arapaima. And I got to see the one at the Ohio Fish Rescue, Brutus. And there's another one, I think his name is Broser. I got to see those two, and I'm going to tell you, man, they are massive. That fish is longer than I am tall. That fish is 6.5 feet long when I was there, and I haven't been there in almost a year. So I'm pretty sure Brutus is backed on some size, but that dude was a cool fish. And a fish that I don't think that should be in a hobby, that is definitely one of them. I'm not a red-tailed catfish fan, being in a hobby. They're beautiful fish. They have their right to be, alive, but not in the aquarium hobby because nobody ever has a tank big enough for them. That goes along with like a Pacu. People get them at the pet store, for like $3.99 at PetSmart. The next thing you know, you've got an 18-inch monster that, is just wreaking havoc on the little tank that you have it in. 6 to 7 inch fish, if I remember correctly. Grass is 12-inch. That's decent size. I do have one predator fish, and I'm kind of nervous about it. I'm not a big predator kind of fan. I have a jaguar cichlid. I don't know if you guys watched any of my videos, but I have a jaguar cichlid that got its ass kicked. Like the whole entire top of its spine was like raw. I mean, basically raw. Actually, I think there was more than like skin missing. I think there was some meat missing. And that fish has bounced back. I've got it in a 55 on the other side. It's only that long. And it's going to probably outgrow everything I have, and I'm going to be upset when I have to rehome it. So if I do, I'm probably going to give it to the Ohio Fish Rescue. I'm not the biggest fan of giving fish away, but I wanted to have a good home, and if I tell them that it was my pet, they'll keep it until it dies. So I agree with the giant gourami, man. I follow a guy on Facebook who has a giant gourami. Charlie there. I think it's Charlie the giant gourami. I mean, it's a cool fish, but he's the only fish in a 150-gallon tank. I mean, to me, that's a waste of a tank. I mean, that behind me is a 240, and you see the amount of fish I have in there. What's up, Jesse? Welcome, buddy. The common pleco is another one. I mean, if you've got the tank for it, that's fine, man, but that is like one of the most mistreated fish. I have found Aquarium Domain. I've watched him. I'm jealous of that plywood tank he built. I know that's a lot of plywood. That's one definitely coming for my fish room. I am going to build one. It's probably going to be a 600 or 700-gallon tank, but it's coming. Because guys, I have a large number of severums. I have 19 red shoulder severums. I have green severums in this tank. I have turquoise severums in the other tank. I mean, I have 24 severums. I don't have room for 24 severums. Some of these I am going to grow out, and my local fish store is going to take some of the red shoulders back, but I am keeping the prime of the stock. I'll tell you that right now. I am not breeding them. I asked my local fish store to get me some. I wanted some red shoulder severums. I only wanted like 6 of them. And he made me a deal. I can have the 6 of them if I took them all. And I'm like, well, how many is there? He's like, you just got to take them all. And I'm like, how many are there? I'm like, I need to know if I have a big enough tank, He's like, oh, they're only like the size of a nickel right now. I'm like, huh? So I go and get them, and there was 19 of them. And they are healthy fish. Apparently, they're local bred right here in Ohio by me. So I have 19 red shoulder severums. I am going to keep 6 of them. I'm going to keep 6 nice quality ones out of that group. I don't care if they're male or female. They don't have to breed. The only thing here I have breeding is my breeding pair of electric blue Acara, and I have 2 breeding pair of plecos. I have just your standard like brownish green bristlenose plecos, and I have my albinos bred. I'm amazed. I have albino bristlenose pleco fry right now. I think I have 20 of them. In my 125-gallon South American cichlid tank, I have put a bristlenose pleco in every tank from that tank. $18 is a big fish. Everything I've read about jaguar cichlids say they're going to get 16 to 18 inches long, but only like 12 in captivity. I don't know if I have a tank that's going to hold a 12-inch jaguar. I'm going to tell you that right now, because that little thing's a missile right now, because I can imagine how it's going to be full grown. It's a good kit to buy if you don't have one. I recommend it. I also have some of the like the Tetra test strips. Those are okay, but I definitely would recommend getting a master test kit just if you have issues. Now, technically, the only one I check for two, typically three. Just want to make sure everything's all right. I have never had a tank that had anything really high. For those who have Oscars, what are you feeding your Oscars? I have mine on extreme, like really, really big extreme. Let me find it. I have it over here. Extreme Monster. So, how do you guys feel about Piranha? Do you think they have a place in the hobby? I'm not sure if they do or not either. Never tried them. I have my boss has one. I agree. It is good food for the fish. That's all I basically feed. I feed all of my fish, like the cichlid peewee, the big fella, my fryer, honestly, on Northfin Fry Starter. And a lot of my other fish, they eat flakes. So my fish store does bulk flake food. I usually buy it off of him, and I also mix a thing of like the discus flake food. I usually mix that in there because it's got garlic and stuff in it. The fish just love it. I mean, I kind of make my own food, if you want to say it that way, out of a couple different kinds, and they just smash it. Jesse, I got to watch your other video you put out today. I think it might have been today. Could have been yesterday. I always get updates or like notifications for everybody like the next day for some reason. Like I'm pretty sure half of you guys didn't get the notification that I was going live tonight. So I don't even know. That's the weird part about the internet. You never know what's going to happen. Like right now, it probably doesn't even say I'm live on FishFam. I'm sure it does, but it might not. Nope. Right now, the only person that shows is live is Father Fish. And I'm definitely not him. So the piranha is food fish. You know what? I feed my goldfish Northfin goldfish food too, like goldfish pellets. Jesse, they love it. I don't know if you feed yours. What do you feed your goldfish? Because you have some pretty fancy goldfish. Mine get flake and that. Nice. Thank you, Jungle Jim. Sometimes it shows people and sometimes it doesn't. So, but yeah, I hardly ever get notifications that anybody's going live. See? Thank you, Skull. Nobody else is. Apparently, Jim's got one, but you guys didn't get it. I think the only reason Jesse knew is because he commented on my YouTube post about it. Oh, awesome, Jeff. Anybody know my shirt? One of the best movies in history. We can fight about that one. I'm not even going to lie. I will argue and fight with somebody that is not one of the best movies ever. My Oscar is sitting here eyeballing me. I mean, just straight staring a hole in me. Both of them. I got one down here too. They're both just staring at me. Extreme G Fish Food. I gave my Jesse. I gave my goldfish broccoli. I I mean they went like they went crazy on it. It was awesome. I've never seen them eat like that. The one thing I'm gonna try. I don't know if you guys are hip to Luke's Goldies. He does scrambled eggs with garlic in it. I mean, I've seen him feed his fish, and I'm like, holy crap! I mean, they destroyed it. So I may try that with my goldfish and see if they like it. I know they flake food I put in there with garlic in it, they destroy. I mean, they just destroy it. So, question for everybody. Off topic, not a fish topic. What does everybody do for a living? I'm a master automotive technician, along with a lot of other things that, you know, I'm a mason. I can lay brick. I was a bricklayer early in my life. I started out as a bricklayer because I didn't want to work on cars for a job. I didn't want to take my hobby and just ruin it. But apparently I did. So now I'm a master technician / manager. I used to build the buildings that I work in. Now I work in them. I've worked on some of the high rises. If you guys are familiar with the state of Ohio and the city of Cleveland, I've worked on the Terminal Tower. I've worked on the Marriott building in downtown Cleveland. Field service technician. HVAC. I knew that, Jeff. I didn't know what Jesse was, though. I'm curious to what Jungle Jim does, though. Jungle Jim could probably be like a rocket scientist, and we just don't know it. Industrial maintenance supervisor. That's got to be fun. I know being an automotive mechanic is definitely fun, especially some of the people's cars you get in, man. You never understand. You can see a person in a 5-piece suit, you get in their car, destroyed inside. Looks like you had a whole family of raccoons living there for 20 years. Yes, Jim, I would like to know what you do for a living. Scissor lifts. I like scissor lift. Those things are pretty cool. Your live feed died, Jungle Jim? How did it die? You shoot it? You ever race a forklift or a scissor lift? Jesse? I have. I used to race forklifts out in the parking lot. We had the propane powered ones, though. They were pretty cool. They're fun. We picked up the supervisor's car and put it on top of the dumpster. Welcome, Mickey. Professional drummer. Nice. Welcome, Fish and Things. Again. Look like you jumped back in here. You restore chimneys and fireplaces. So you're basically a mason then. I know fire brick is a little different than standard brick. But yes, I have seen the red and black forklifts. This is going to sound real funny. I used to work in a machine shop. I was Clark Lift certified. That was fun. Stupid test they make you do so you can drive a forklift. I drove it twice a day. I'd pick up a box, move it to the other end, and then come back. Me, I mostly now, I have 3 employees, including myself. It's me and 2 other guys. Basically, I do all the hard diagnostics. If something comes in and it's a troubled car that nobody can figure out, I'm typically the one that has to figure it out. I had a Hyundai come in last week, for instance, had a really bad parasitic draw. If you follow some of the flow charts that some of these manufacturers give for their car, it'll take you down a rabbit hole. You just need to understand the basics of the automobile. And if you can understand the basics of it, like the electrical system and how it works, then you can figure it out. Hyundai recommended, pulling one fuse at a time and then putting it back in. Well, when you pull one fuse at a time and you put it back in, it wakes up everything in the car. You need the car to be asleep. So basically what I do is I pull every fuse. I'll take a picture of the fuse box. That way I know all the orientations of where the fuses go, where the relays go. I'll pull them all and then go from there. And I narrowed it down. It was pretty, pretty hectic. But at the end of the day, it ended up being a smart junction block that is buried underneath of the dashboard, which is technically another smart name for a module that tells the car, hey, you can now all the modules can go to sleep. And it was keeping them all awake. So needless to say, I fixed a lady's car and she was on about her day. And it was at 2 other places that couldn't figure it out. So apparently places don't like to hire mechanics that are, decent. I shouldn't even say mechanics. You have to be a jack of all trades to work on it. I have a tool in my toolbox that has no business being in my toolbox. I have a framing hammer. What do you need a framing hammer for working on cars? You'll be surprised. Sometimes it fits into places the other hammer can't. So, built some of my house. Pretty handy individual. Built that stand. All out of 2x6s. It's got 5/8 carriage bolts. Got 16 of them in there. Probably 150 screws. So, there's not much I can't build. Just can't build myself a good leg. Go figure. This room, my fish room, I've pretty much built it. What's going on, Storm Riders? How are you? Welcome. So, Jeff, with that what you're saying, that I am definitely not underpaid. I am compensated in more than one way. A lot of places you have to pay for your own benefits, like health and dental and vision. I don't have to pay for that. Everybody else at the shop does. I don't have to. I get yearly raises. Actually, I get them every 2 years, and they're pretty healthy. And I get bonuses that, I get bonuses for this. My Christmas present from my boss this year was a inclusive trip for me and my wife to Mexico. So all expenses paid. I just get on a plane and go to Mexico. 5-star resort. I'm there for a few days. How you doing, Jeff Pelham? Welcome. I'm going to go tan these buns down in Mexico. I am going to get drunk and pass out on a beach. That is my goal. But I've also, Jeff Kane, I've also had the opportunity that was brought to me by my boss to ask me if I wanted to buy the place. And I told him absolutely not. I don't want the burden, the headache, and the hassle. I would rather run the day-to-day operation and not be the financial guy behind it. I'm not going to, put my house up on something and lose it. I've worked too hard to buy this house. I have the cheapest house in a 400,000 plus neighborhood, and I'm going to keep it that way. It is what it is. I get to deal with people. I'm not a people person. And here I am talking to a bunch of people. Not trying to say that I'm an asshole to people, because I'm not. Respect is given, disrespect is earned. If you respect me, I'm going to respect you. I'm a millennial, but I was raised in the Gen X. I get the Gen X mindset, you know. Thank you. Thank you, Storm Riders. I have a bunch of tanks, man. You should jump on there one day when you get bored and look at some of the videos. I mean, I have everything. You guys check out Jungle Jim's page. He's a newer guy. He's got some nice stuff going on over there. Also got to give a shout out to everybody who has actually mentioned me on live streams, like Skull, Jesse. Pretty sure Jeff has. You guys have all mentioned me. I appreciate that. You know, guys, my channel is a little over a year old, I think. I wonder if it can tell me how old this thing is. I know it's not very old. Oh, when did I put my first video out? Let's see. Scroll through 300 videos. A year ago. You'll see a 3-minute and 36-second video that, wow. It's a 55-gallon tank that I bought off a marketplace for $100. You'll see that. It's got it's got an electric blue car in it, I believe. And then you'll see my goldfish. I'm a year deep in this. I have, let's see, 354 subscribers, so thank you. You know, I'm doing the best I can. Last night's video, I was aggravated. I had a bad day. Guys, I had to run to my shop yesterday where I work at to pick up something. My shop is literally 4.5 miles from my house. Round trip shouldn't take me any more than 25 minutes. It took me 40. Everybody was driving like there was a foot of snow on the ground. It was 54 degrees yesterday. It was dry. I mean, it just had me so mad that I just couldn't, it just wasn't the thing. It just pissed me off to the point where I was aggravated. And then I get home and I'm doing water changes on fish tanks, and I was finally mellowing out. Oh, laundry's done. See, ADHD kicked in, don't even have it. But, I was doing that, and then I run into, dead fish. The one fish, I loved that fish. That fish was beautiful. That OB and Bono was not cheap. I mean, I think I paid like $25 or $30 for that fish. And I didn't even care, because when I seen it, he was only that big. I think I overpaid for him, but I don't even care. The fish was beautiful. But I've had that fish for 3 years. A lot of this stuff wasn't here 3 years ago. I wonder who I'm competing with. I'm competing with Father Fish. And I know that dude's probably got like 400 people on his live stream. How do you guys like his methods? You think his method of growing plants and, the self-sustaining tank is cool? Never tried it. I've thought about it, but I don't know if I want to. Welcome, Vibes. What's cracking other than kneecaps and elbows? Man, that takes me back. What's cracking was a thing when I was in middle school. God, I'm old. Oh, thank you. I'm not a fan of it myself. I don't understand how that's going to work. I don't understand how letting a tank with plants and everything just sit there and you just not have to do any maintenance. Makes no sense. Scott Edwards, who he's on about, ain't got no Oscars in their tanks. Man, water changes are a must on tanks. I don't care. I don't care what you do. I don't believe. But not doing a water change? I mean, seriously. You got to do a water change. I'm not dissing the guy. I mean, I'm really not. If it works for him, that works for him. I get it. It's his hobby. He's doing it his way. But I don't know. I agree with that not being a no water change ever person, man. I typically Wednesday, Sunday, like clockwork. Wednesday, Sunday, clockwork. I'm in the fish room. I'm changing water. you definitely gotta clean everything up. I don't know, Jungle Jim. The fish may not feel good about that. I mean, they may just be just surviving, like fighting to survive. Skull, I was wondering about that. To me, they looked like they were like either heavily tanned or they were just yellow because they were just dirty. Well, with me, with my Oscars, I have to do it every week. Everybody knows if you keep a dirty Oscar tank, you're going to get hole in the head. I don't like hole in the head. And I see these assholes over my shoulder chasing each other. My Oscar's being a little, a little bit of an asshole. Jesse, I tried the bi-weekly thing, and I can get by on certain tanks, but not the Oscar tanks. The Oscar tanks are every week. I mean, like clockwork. Daisy right here, she's just a dirty fish. I got Ludwig down here. He's a dirty fish. These guys back here, not so much. I mean, that thing is heavily filtered. It's got 3 canister filters on it. It's got a sponge filter, 2 sponge filters in the back. And believe it or not, man, I've got redheaded Tapajos in there, so they do a lot of sand sifting. I also have the Juraparis in there. Juraparis do a great job. They got some big eyes and some big lips, so there's some really cool fish. I should recommend you guys check those out. I've had to do multiple water changes in a week. I had to do it on my Embona tank. When I had a pretty mass casualty one day. I think I lost 6, and I didn't know how long they were in there because I didn't come down here. I had something I had to do, and then I came down here late that night, and there were 6 of them. So I came down here, and I was like, oh no. So I mean, it was like I did a water change that day, and then I did another one. It was like a Thursday, and then I did another one on Sunday. Mass casualties suck. I can go back to talking about mass casualties. When I lost my walrus cichlid, they were in my 90-gallon tank. I'm pretty sure I had velvet. I am almost 100% positive. Everything I read and everything I looked at said it was velvet. I thought it was, ick, but it wasn't ick, and it definitely wasn't Epicillus. So, man, how do you get by with 125 with 2 Oscars and it only doing once a month? That's awesome. Give me 1 second on that. But when my Storm, I will answer that question for you. I promise you. But when all those Walrus died in my tank, I went to the pharmacy and I bought 4 of the biggest bottles of peroxide they had. I dumped all 4 bottles in that tank and I let it run for like 3 days. I did a 50% water change. I let it run for 3 more days. Then I did another 50% water change and I threw fish in it. It killed everything that was in it. Storm, the tank behind me that you see it's a store-bought tank. I didn't buy it store. I bought it secondhand. I bought it from, I don't know if you know who the Ohio Fish Rescue is, but they have they basically have a yard sale for their members every year, and I bought it from them. I didn't like the stand, so I built the stand. The stand is made out of 2x6s. It's lag bolted together, or carriage bolted together with lock nuts on the opposite side. There's about 150 screws, and it's got more support than it needs, and that thing will hold a truck. My local fish store, the biggest tank you can get me is a 210. I may buy one, I may not, but they're like $1,000 for just a tank. There's no stand, so I would have to build a stand. The tank over my shoulder is a 240-gallon tank. It is 6 foot long. It is 32 inches high and 24 inches deep or wide. No, 6 long. Yeah. I lost it a little bit there, but it is a 240-gallon. And then this guy right here is a 75. One below it is a 75. It's definitely a good sized tank. I mean, for the amount of fish that's in there. I mean, we got, let me see. We have 2 Oscars. We have 3 thread Fennecara. We have 3 redhead Tapajos. We have 4 Jurapari. We have 7 Severums. We have 4 Siamese algae eaters, and we have 1 bristlenose pleco. Well, Jungle Jim, it's in my basement, man. This is my basement. It used to I built this room. It used to be like a game room / man cave, and now it is a fish room. And then on the other side of the wall where this computer is the other side of my fish room. I basically took my whole basement. It's my fish room. My wife is mad. You know, the laundry room's on the other side, but there's fish tanks everywhere. Right next to my dryer is a 300-gallon pond. So, I mean, I have a lot of tanks down here, a lot of water. But on that tank, I have I have everybody's favorite canister filter. I have a Marineland 360 on it. If you guys know anything about Marineland, they leak. I have one that doesn't leak, and I have one that leaks only when it's running or not running. So, fun fact, I just changed the water in my African cichlid tank today, and I had a puddle underneath of it. I forgot once I turned off my Marineland, it leaks. It only leaks when it's off. So I got to find like the actual bucket for it to where all the trays go in. I may be able to find one, I may not, but I may just flex seal it. Basements are cool. I mean, I love my basement. I can come down here, I can get away from the world. You know what I mean? It's like walking into my own aquarium that I don't have to pay for. I can see different fish. I can watch different fish. My favorite tank to watch when I'm mad is my 125-gallon South American tank. That right now has a whole bunch of fish, including a fry. A mess of fry is in there. They're probably not going to make it. I had to let it be the survival of the fishes. I have nowhere to put them. The Marineland hang on the backs are pretty decent, but that Marineland 360, man, that thing just leaks. They do make a real decent Marineland hang on the back, though. I've got one on my saltwater tank, and it loves it. I mean, it just runs like crazy. I got 2 Aqua Tops. They're like the FZ5s, along with that Marineland on this 240. And I mean, they keep it clean. That thing is crystal clear. I just did a whole bunch of crap on it yesterday, so I really didn't want to clean the canisters. So I'm going to clean one next weekend. I'm going to clean one the weekend after, and then I'll clean the final one the weekend after that. I just don't want to take away too much beneficial bacteria and have my cycle crash. It's just not going to happen. I mean, I guess I could buy some of that, cycle booster, but no. Do it one at a time, one weekend, one a weekend, and it'll be good. Man, Jungle Jim has an amazing fish over there that I never thought about keeping. That dude he's definitely got a fish. I've never thought about keeping a bluegill. I see people keeping peacock bass and things like that, but that's not my thing. I'm not going to keep a whole bunch of bass. I'm not a bass person. I don't even like fishing. I started keeping fish. I stopped fishing. I used to fish all the time. I used to go fishing every weekend in the summer, me and my wife. We'd go hit a riverbank and just sit there and fish. We'd listen to music on a cell phone and just relax. Not anymore. I don't have time for that, but I don't even have the leg for it anymore. Oh. What C word did I say, Larry? Guys, Larry is my nephew. Never thought I'd see him on there. I said the C word on a stream. What's the C word, Larry? I didn't. Nephews do suck. I have 4 of them. Nah, my nephews are pretty cool. Larry is in the Marines, active Marine as we speak. I don't know what he's doing right now. I think he's like a bigwig or something. I think he just gets to boss people around. But here or there, he is a Marine. I plan on it, Larry. I plan on it. One of these days, you ever come back to Cleveland, I'll show you them in person. That way, you can see all of them. There's about 40 of them now, and I still have 10 that isn't set up. Oh, good. You should swing by next time. Yes, Larry's a Marine only, Oscar. Definitely tell you thank you for your service, kid. $200 Oscars? That is a lot of Oscars. I have 4, and I'm like, what am I going to do with these Oscars? You have like 200 of them? I definitely got to get on your channel and look at that. Hey, Jesse might be your nephew. She is the Oscar goddess. All right, good. So I guess I'll have to, if I have any issues with my Oscar, I guess I'm going to have to ask her. She's the expert. Joan, if you get a chance to check my channel out, I have this one Oscar. I can't really move my computer right now. I have an Oscar in my 240 behind me. I'm pretty sure it's an albino tiger. But that would be great if you could help me with that one. Because I know the one I have next to me is a Lutino. She's definitely not a tiger. She's turning gray and kind of black. Or it's not an albino, I should say. She's turning gray and kind of black. And grumpy. Very grumpy. Glowing Oscars. Jesse, I have no clue how to do that. There's a lot of things that I'm going to need some help with, bud. I sent you a message a couple of days ago, Jesse. I had a few questions I wanted to ask you. Maybe one of these days we can, kind of chat. And you could help me with a few things. Since you were the first person to reach out to me. I have. Hello. The Zen Ginger. Welcome. This fish is a drama queen, let me tell you. I put my finger in the tank, down to the bottom, on the side, like somebody just robbed her. It's just funny. Your long lost sister, huh? Hour and 5 minutes deep on a live stream. Look at me go. Jungle Jim, have a good night, man. Enjoy your day at work. Keep the videos coming. I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you for sharing my live. Seriously, this fish is over here just giving me like the stink eye. So I tried StreamYard today. I couldn't figure it out, man. I tried and tried and tried. I said, you know what? I'll just go on YouTube and do it this way. We're talking like a Bumblebee Oscar. That would have to be a cool Oscar to see. I've got to look that one up. Bumblebee Oscar. For some reason, my phone is running stupidly slow. Yay, I'm live. Look at me go. Oh, that is pretty. Hello, mountaintop fish. Man, where can I find a Bumblebee Oscar at? I'm going to have to contact my local fish store and ask this dude. You may have just made me made me get another Oscar. I'm pretty sure I could come up with another tank. I actually have a 75 sitting over here that I put up and then I took down and then I put back up. I'm getting ready to fill it up, and it is going to be the future home of my new Akara fry. And we'll see what happens when I put them in there. If you hit share, where's there a share button? There you go. Oh, now that's what I'm talking about. Thank you. I'm currently doing it straight off of YouTube. Streaming straight off of YouTube. Hooray, YouTube. I don't like football. I may stay down here all night. It's peaceful. I do have to eat dinner, though. That's the only thing. My wife made dinner, and just as I was going live, she brought me my dinner, and I was like, oh, no. See, that's the only way I know how to stream is from YouTube. I go to YouTube Studios. I log in. It's where you can look at all of your analytics and everything, and it's got like a little stupid tab at the top you could use. So that's what I've been using. I don't even know where to find this link at. Let's see. Oh, I can see participators. I don't know where I can find it. Well, if I happen to, disappear, I clicked the wrong button. There we go. Talking about that. Oh, you missed Miss Happy a little bit ago. You'll have to see her on the replay. Bumblebee Oscars are at Predatory Fence. Anybody going to watch that fight between him and the King of DIY? Or do you think it's just like a publicity stunt? Or do you actually think they're going to fight? Rod's a pretty big dude. I mean, so is Joey, but that could be a good fight. So, how much is that fight? You got to pay for that, or is he streaming that thing? Well, how are we going to watch that? You know, as bad as this sounds, I'm going to have to go for Joey. I think Joey's just a little more hood. Figures it'd be pay-per-view. You think Joey's just louder than Rod? You know, I don't want to sound like a fanboy, but I would like to meet Joey, but I also wouldn't like to meet Joey just for the fact of I think our personalities would clash. I think it would end up being some things said, and I kind of would like to keep it the fact that I like the guy because I've used a lot of his stuff that actually helped me. Both the same size, huh? Huh. Well, I appreciate your honesty there, Jeff. How was Joey when you met him? Was he rude, arrogant, or was he a nice person? Because I've heard two different versions of him. I heard there's the version you see on the internet, and then there's another version. I don't know if you guys caught. I follow him on YouTube. He put out a video, and I mean, Joey was absolutely shook to his core about Brian Barczyk. I guess him and Brian Barczyk were really good friends. He's a smart ass and a cocky guy. Well, most guys are smart asses and cocky. I guess that's just what we do to kind of, come across as tough asses, but we're really not. Yeah, I mean, the dude was almost a puddle over Brian Barczyk because they were good friends, I guess. He said the only person that was there for him was Brian Barczyk when he was going through a lot of things. I absolutely agree. We are allowed to like who we like, Jeff. There's the thing that upsets me is there's definitely a big difference between now and then. Sometimes people let fame go to their head. I mean, you are internet famous, bro. You're not like movie star famous, but I get it. Oh man, you're eating a chop. What's up, man? You can't feed us awesome chopped brisket there, Vibes? I have Joey's book. His book is actually a really good book. Some of it is misspelled, but it happens. It happens when you don't have somebody that kind of hurts when you don't have somebody proofread it, or whoever proofread it is, they missed a few things. But the book does have some good information in it, especially his part on filtration and tank stand building. You can't deny the dude can build some things. But I was going somewhere. So aquarium hobby, you'd like to meet and talk to some of your some of the people that influenced you. I have messaged Corey McElroy probably 10 times. I'm not asking him for a handout. I just wanted to talk to the man about something. He never gets back to me. I understand he's a busy guy. I get that. But you know what? I've actually had conversations on Facebook with Joey. Joey will get back to you, even though, he is what he is. I've talked to Lisa Hudson through Facebook. I mean, they'll at least acknowledge you. I'm not trying to be rude, man, but I told you flat out that you were the reason why I have 50 tanks in my basement, or I have a 50 tank fish room. If somebody told me I was the reason they did something, I would be like, hey, so why am I your reason you did something? I would want to know. Not knocking the guy in any way, shape, or form. The dude started from, wherever he was to where he is now. I am happy for him. But you should remember some of the people that helped you get there too, because I have a whole bunch of your filters, your power heads. I mean, I have all that shit. I paid for all of it from you. Paid shipping too. I can't spell for shit either, my friend. My vocabulary is limited to the fact of I went to the Cleveland Public School District. I wasn't taught very many things in the right way of doing it. We had teachers that were just, I'm probably smarter than most of my teachers were. You take the blame for the tanks. Fantastic. Oh man, this stand behind me is straight out of Joey's book, except for I just modified it a little bit to fit my tank dimensions. I was part of Caveman's group on Facebook, and those are some of the rudest individuals in that group that I have ever been a part of. I left it just for the fact that everybody was rude. Everybody knew everything. I mean, when did everybody become an expert on everything? Did you not learn things by failure? Because I have. I've learned a lot by failure. I learned how to work on a lot of the things that I work on now by trying to fix it and failing. I mean, people just get above what they are. But I would like to meet Kev. Kev actually seems like a pretty cool dude. I'd love to meet John and Lisa Hudson. They seem like down-to-earth people. I met a comedian, a famous comedian. I don't know if you guys know who Adam Ferrara is. I went and seen him at a comedy show in downtown Cleveland. Me and my wife were the first ones to leave that joint. Because my wife has, my wife has some issues and crowds. She just doesn't do well in crowds. So we were leaving there, and Adam Ferrara was standing outside waiting for people that were at his show to greet him. I was one of the first people to meet this dude. This dude is down to earth. I mean, dude's got more money than he knows what to do with. And he shook my hand and told me, "Thank you for coming. I appreciate you being here. Did you enjoy your time? Good. Where are you from?" I mean, he had a conversation with me. That's somebody that knows and understands that the general public is why he is where he is. Some of these people don't understand that. She seems like a sweetheart, Zen. She really does. And she's got a thing for cats too. I miss my cats. I used to have 2 cats down here. They were in the fish room. They never bothered anything. They would just lay there and watch the fish. Well, one of them, when the other one was upstairs messing with my dog. Man, I had twins, boy and girl. They were tuxedo kitties. You couldn't tell them apart other than the fact that the girl was a little shorter And the boy was a little longer, but they had markings on their nose and their eyes were different. Other than that, you couldn't really tell them apart. You know what? I was on one of her lives and she replied to me, which was pretty cool. I was actually nice about that. Or I felt good about it. You know, they just don't seem like they're above what they are, and that's what I like. You got to understand, though, some of these people like them, they're running a business out of their house. You know, if they don't respond to you right away, there's a reason. They're busy, probably. You know, they're not going on elaborate trips to, you know, Indonesia or somewhere and looking at fish, or they're not spending 2 months in Germany, you know, because we paid for it by buying their products. These people are in North Carolina in a fish house selling product out of their house. So, oh, you throw the rant video up there. Oh, man. Guys, I'm going to apologize. My mouth got a little foul in that one. I was pissed. Jesse, I was furious yesterday, man. No, leave it there. Let them watch it. I mean, I'm clear and transparent, man. I'm a mechanic. I have a foul mouth. It is what it is. I water myself down a little bit, but, you know, like verbally, because if some of the stuff that comes out of my mouth, you guys heard, you guys be like, what the hell? Yeah. You know, this is actually probably going to be my longest stream. Thank you, Skull. I dropped an F-bomb, man. I mean, you know, it is what it is. I'm human. When you get to the point to where you're about to just fly off and throw something, I mean, it just upsets me. You know, you get attached to seeing these fish every day. If I come down here and I seen this Oscar dead right here, I would probably lose my shit. Seriously. I've had her. She is the little thumbnail. She is the little fish in the thumbnail. She's the little Oscar. And now she's over here being a crybaby looking at me. I took her from that to she's that. I mean, thank you. When I'm at work in the shop, the F word is every other word out of my mouth. You know? I mean, it's just, I got a mouth like a sailor. I'm like a trucker, basically. I'm a trucker that works on cars. If I bust something, break, if I start bleeding, oh, it's on. You're going to hear every word come out of my mouth. I have a short temper, too. I mean, that just comes with me. You know? I've had a temper since I was a child. I was born with it. I come out mad as hell, apparently. My mom told me I came out mad. Oh, man. Jesse, you are absolutely right, man. There are people doing these transparent clothes trend on YouTube right now. And, I mean, you're literally seeing half-naked chicks. You can see through the shirt. I mean, that's just wrong, man. There's kids on YouTube. Nobody needs to see that. I was raised by a Marine and a hillbilly. My mom's the hillbilly. She was a stay-at-home mom. My dad was a Marine. When I tell you that the man come and got me out of jail at 3 o'clock in the morning and put me through a wall the next day, I went from my bedroom to the bathroom. And I never touched a stud. You had every right to. The amount of charges that were put on me wasn't right. So I shouldn't have done what I did. I was wrong. I was dumb. I was young. It is what it is. You know, my dad was a mechanic to begin with. And then he decided to close his shop down and he went to work in a steel company. He worked he worked for a steel distributor. He was a tow motor operator and overhead crane operator. He actually retired from that job about 8 years ago. So now he stays at home and, you know, does what he does with my mom. And they hang out. My mom doesn't like to go anywhere. She's a straight homebody. So and you got to remember, man, I'm getting old too. And my parents are even older. My mom is 70. My mom's going to be 74 this year. And my dad's going to be 72. I was a late one. Where are you at, Oscar? The mob owns the steel here. Where are you located at if they own the steel? I knew a few people that were made men. Let's just put it that way. Oh, wow. You have a bird? Am I reading that right? Man, I had a bird a long time ago. I had 2 parakeets, and I was watching Days of Thunder, and these 2 were flying around the cage like idiots. They didn't like the loud noises. I am like 20. I am like 15 miles from downtown Cleveland, maybe 20. Don't those birds live for like ever, man? That's why I don't want a bird. They're gonna outlive me or a turtle. Turtles are like 100 years old. I'm good on all that. My luck, these Oscars are gonna outlive me. These guys are all upset with me. It's Sunday. My fish fast on Sunday. So they're all looking at me like, why haven't you fed me? Yeah, 25 years is a decent life. Guys, I'm kind of sad. I was looking through my phone the other day. My dog is going to be 10 years old. It's sad. I remember when she was like that when I brought her home. She could barely walk, barely open her eyes. She was 5 weeks old. You have turtles that are 20 plus years old, man. I love turtles. I really do. Turtles, one of the most peaceful things I've ever watched was a turtle eating. I don't know why. It's just relaxing. And I'm like, wow. It was calming. Cockatoos and African gray macaws, them bad boys. Yeah, they will live forever. That's like one of those. That's like a family heirloom pet. Like your mom buys it, and when she passes away, you take it over. You like adopt it. Yeah, I get that. My aunt had one in Florida, and it got loose and flew away. I don't know. The only thing I ever worry about is if something happens to me, is my wife going to sell all of my tanks for what she thinks I paid for them? That's going to be bad. Turtles are super messy for some reason. I had a friend who had 2 turtles in his basement, and they were just, yeah. See you later, Vibes. What's going on, Garcia? Welcome to the chat. You know what? I remember this well. My wife told me that I was not allowed to have any more tanks. And then I come home and she bought me another tank. And then I come home again, she bought me another tank. I'm like, no, you can't keep telling me I'm not allowed to have tanks. And you keep buying me tanks. Guys, I have been to Facebook jail more times than I can count. I don't care about anybody, I don't care what any of your political views are. Your views are your views. But I'll tell you what, Facebook has thrown me in jail before my political views. I have spent more time in jail on Facebook than I have on Facebook. It is what it is. I don't care if you're red or blue. I don't I don't judge a person by their political view. I judge them by the content of their character. And that's just how you do it. You know, people are rude, people are arrogant. And like I said earlier, everybody gets respect, but you earn disrespect. Facebook will censor people that they don't like what you say. They really do. You know, you say something about Joe Biden or you say something about Trump, and you're automatically flagged. You're already on their radar. They're already watching you. You know, I don't care. I'm going to tell you what I think, and what I think. If you don't like it, that's your opinion. You know, well, my problem was I got in an argument with a couple of family members. You know, I'll put it right out there. I'm the only Republican in a Democrat family. So my entire family hates the fact that I actually voted for Trump. You know what? If you judge somebody by what they voted for, that says a lot about you as a person. You know, if you get to know me, I'm actually probably one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. I'll do anything I can for you. If you're having a problem, let me know. I'll see what I can do to help you. And if I can, I will do it. Thank you, Garcia. 240 gallon. You know, I couldn't live in California. I'm sorry. I really couldn't. I would probably be in jail if I lived in California. Because some of the things that the people do out there, no offense to you, only Oscars, I know you live there. Oh, my family hates me. They don't hate me. They just hate my political views. You know, and then all politicians are crooked. I agree. But for once, can we get somebody that can run this country like a business instead of trying to run it for their pocket? You know, what these people in these offices don't understand is we pay their salary. Tank on my right. Huh. You talking about the big guy behind me or this one right here? This one? If it's this one, Garcia, that is an Oscar. Yes, Garcia is in caps. He wants to make sure everybody knows he's there. Garcia has like a 10-inch long Latino Oscar. She is the grumpy one that is always laying on the bottom when I'm doing tank maintenance in any of my videos. The ones behind me don't care. That one, she lays down. The one below it, below this one is another 75 with a tiger Oscar. I couldn't think of what it was. I'm like, what the hell is that fish? It's a tiger Oscar. Well, welcome. I subscribed to Garcia's channel the other night. I checked out a couple of things. I'll keep watching most of you guys. I see that number went down as soon as I said I was a Republican. That's funny. Either that or people just had to go. Do you guys have thermometers in your fish room? Just wondering. I have a digital one. It's probably going to change the temperature by the time I get it there, but that's what it is in my fish room. The humidity is going up because I'm touching it. My fish room stays about 75 to 80 degrees all the time. I don't know if it's because of the tanks or the fact that I have a heater that runs all the time. I have temperature stickers, and I've heard people tell me that temperature stickers are terrible. I happen to think they're wrong because they seem to read the most accurate. You're welcome, Garcia. So I've tried that method, and the other day I went over here to my Well, I have a 40 breeder on the bottom of my 75 stand that's currently over here that has the convicts that I rescued in it. And I tried the no heater thing in it. And believe it or not, the tank was still holding at like 73 degrees. But I'm like, maybe I'll just put, I'll put like a little heater in there and see what happened. I put a little heater in there, the tank went up to 78, and it's just perfect. The fish seem to be moving around better and everything. When 10 people are chatting, it says there's only one person viewing. Well, current viewers 10, max viewers 13, participants 16, like count 13. Thank you. Oh. But as we're back to the stick-ons, Jeff is the stick-on thermometers for me work the best. I had like one of the little suction cup ones in my tank upstairs. My heater malfunctioned, and it said that my tank was 99 degrees. I'm like, I don't think it's 99 degrees. Well, it wasn't 99 degrees. It was definitely a lot hotter. So, what do these go up to? This one goes to 93. The one on the bottom goes to 93. So, that thing was glowing every color. So I knew it was hot, but I had an infrared thermometer that I had here from work, and it told me that the tank was 107. My heater malfunctioned and warmed the tank up to 107. The tank had an Oscar and a parrot cichlid in it. She's like John Wayne toilet paper, rough, tough, and don't take no shit from anybody. I like that. Oh. People got to stop yelling, man. Why is all the yelling? Everybody needs to start gelling. Just relax. Breathe. Woosah. I don't even like that phrase. Hey, look at that. It finally says that I am live. Look at that. And all I see is my ugly face. Oh, we got trolls. I love trolls. I got kicked out of a Facebook group last night for telling everybody how I felt. That was fun. Definitely fun. Guys, I think I'm going to end this live stream in a couple of minutes. I'm going to go eat dinner, hang out with my wife a little bit. I do have to work tomorrow. So I got some things I need to do. Got a couple of loads of laundry to finish. I appreciate you all being here. I really do. I'm going to do this the same time next Sunday. So let's keep it real. Guys, keep your head up in the hobby and in everything you do in life. I'm going to enjoy dinner. Mrs. Happy Place was a little upset that I didn't eat it, but I'm going to go eat it and make her smile. So, guys, remember, it's your hobby. Do it your way. Let the haters make you famous. I appreciate everybody being here. You guys have a great night.